Hi there, thank you very much for tuning in. So quite a few of you have asked me to review Matt Dillahunty's debates with ones with Andrew Wilson. Topic is Christianity versus secular humanism. And the other one is the one that he did on modern day debates with Howard Stirrup. And that one was Evidence for God. So these are not going to be comprehensive reviews. I've watched both debates. Just a few general comments. Obviously, they were both quite controversial because Matt walked out. And we're going to kick off by just seeing how Matt walked out of the debate with Andrew Wilson, because that was quite dramatic. So I'll play that through and then I'll come back and talk about that and the Howard Stirrup debate.
Necessary for human flourishing. Why are decency laws bad? Why would Christian ethics stop flourishing when the theist mandate is to reproduce and the secular mandate is let's just all have sex and have fun, bro? That sounds way worse for human flourishing. In fact, I would say not reproducing is a worst possible thing for human flourishing, because if there's no humans, how do you flourish? So I guess, in essence, step one, I remain unconvinced. Step two, I need to be convinced, so I am no longer unconvinced. And step three, but God not real dough doesn't matter here. I've already granted it to still demonstrate just how stupid this ideology actually is. With that, I'll yield my time, and I'm happy to get into it.
Hey, James, I just sent you a message.
All right. We are going to kick it into an open discussion, so 50 minutes, and let's kick it.
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to sit here and dignify the preparation that I went through and what people were here for.
You're so indignant.
Keep interrupting me.
I am.
Okay.
You're so indignant.
Would the moderator like to step in so that I can finish what I'm saying?
Please, Matt. Please. How dare someone have an opposing worldview?
I'm not going to sit here and dignify what was supposed to be a debate about Christianity versus secular humanism, which one's better for the world,
Yes.
with someone who clearly showed up with an agenda that has nothing to do with that. Someone who refers to trans people as deranged lunatics who will self-terminate if you dare to question them.
How am I wrong, Matt?
Someone who misrepresents a quote from a debate where I said I wouldn't make a law about 9-year-olds having sex being legal with respect to the 9-year-olds, not that I was in any way in favor of it and that I was actually opposed to it, which I addressed during that debate. But moreover, this is not remotely an honest interaction on the front of whether or not secular humanism is valuable. Because this, when he presented his position here, has nothing to do with secular humanism. From the get-go, it's all about me. Matt thinks, Matt thinks, Matt thinks. I'm giving what Matt thinks, what Matt thinks, what Matt thinks, what Matt thinks.
Matt's position.
I came in with the Secular Humanist Manifesto. I came in with positions that aren't just that aren't merely my positions.
Oh, well, as long as multiple people hold the position,
this guy's not serious, and I'm leaving. James, if you want a refund, you let me know.
Good day, sir. And I'll cover your refund, Mr. Cool. Matt.
He just said he'd cover my refund.
I would cover his refund.
No. Nope. Nope. No, I'm not going to dignify a debate with someone who walked in to trash talk people and be smug and all of the things that he's being right now. He's already said he will cover my expenses. You don't have anything to worry about. This debate is over. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Jackass.
Did you call me a jackass, Matt? Well, you and your husband have a good day, Matt. Have a wonderful day, Matt. Yeah. Yeah. No, that was fine. I mean, if you're going to take a parting shot, I will too, Matt. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, my parting shot's correct.
No, your parting shot's correct?
Okay, yeah, so let's talk about that first. Andrew Wilson. Never heard of him before. He, near the start of his statement, plugged his channel, claimed that he's got a debating platform which is increasing in popularity and it's going to be this big important debating platform. So he got his plug in. He got to appear on the stage with Matt Dillahunty, who is fairly well known, let's face it. And he delivered the kind of presentation, the kind of arguments that was always going to inflame Matt's anger, particularly the fact that he trash talked trans people, gays, etc., etc. And you heard his parting shot there when Matt called him a jackass, which, let's face it, it's a fairly generic kind of insult. You know, you could substitute jackass for idiot or, stupid fool or whatever. But Andrew then said, I don't know, give my regards to your husband, which was a transphobic dig and very, I would say, crass insult on Matt's partner. So you judge for yourself who was more out of order there. Yeah, so a lot of what Andrew, his arguments, he was saying, he's erecting a lot of straw men and saying, for example, that the Christian mandate is to reproduce. That's the purpose of sex, and the secular humanist mandate is just for everybody out there, to go and have sex and to hell with all the consequences, and that's just a typical straw man. There's no need for me to analyze that one, but that's really what it was like. It was a presentation of such obviously low quality that it wasn't really worth listening to, and to platform some of those points of view, particularly the transphobic and the homophobic rhetoric that we heard. I'm surprised. I think Matt really needs to do some research before he takes on, because I said in a comment on my community page after watching the Howard Stirrup debate that really Matt needs to know who he's debating before he agrees to it, because he's getting paid and that's how he earns a living and he enjoys doing it, but you really need to look at who you're debating. It could be anybody. It could be a nobody who's trying to build up their YouTube channel. Yeah, it could be somebody like me. But no, of course, I'm an atheist, so I wouldn't debate Matt. But it could be somebody unscrupulous who really just wants to get on there and use Matt's name to platform their own views and try and get some popularity on YouTube and get some views coming in and get some revenue, and that's really probably what it's all about. So whether Matt was right or not to walk out, it's obviously a decision for him, and I think that the transphobic comments really got to him, and so, but not just that, but obviously the substance of what he was actually saying, because Matt presented quite a robust defense of secular humanism, and what he got in return, was something that intellectually was at a very low level. It's like something that, he sat down and just wrote it off in half an hour, really without structuring it or really thinking about it at all. So, yeah, there's no point there. I know that a lot of Christians will say, oh, well, Matt lost because he walked out, but it wasn't really like that. And as Matt said, it's not really about winning or losing. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the other debate that I watched, Howard Stirrup. And oh my God, that was the most unbelievable presentation I think I've ever seen for in terms of evidence for God. This had been, I've got to give him some credit, because whereas I say that Andrew Wilson sat down for half an hour and wrote out that, absurd defense of Christianity as a best ethical foundation. Oh, sorry, just one thing I must say about Andrew Wilson. I did find it, one thing I found interesting is that he was prepared to concede that maybe God doesn't exist, but like Jordan Peterson says, we should base our morality on the assumption that there is a God, and it would effectively serve the same function, that we need some sort of grounding, a foundation for ethics and morality. Yeah, so that's really sort of puts him in the Jordan Peterson frame for morality, I suppose. Yeah, so yeah, Howard Stirrup, unbelievable. He must have spent a whole day on that presentation. I mean, I think he had it done on PowerPoint or something like that, and I've got to give him some credit. He really put it together very well, but it was just one. I mean, the whole lot of them can be debunked. He went through numerology. He went through all sorts of, ridiculous stuff, Noah's Ark, and the so-called evidence, stones found in the shape of a heart, and it was all the kind of evidence that we've seen from, particularly the numerology, and he did go into tremendous detail on it. But if you were prepared to sit down and go through it, or just look online, you could debunk the whole lot of it. And really, at the end of the day, it didn't amount to anything. And Matt gave that one up as well. He obviously, it went on a bit longer, but in the end, it did get a bit chaotic at times. And in the end, he just walked out. But, just to conclude, and of course, there are some Christians out there, again, who will say, well, Matt's walked out. Matt has now run away from two Christian opponents, checkmate atheists. If Matt Dillahunty can't cope with Christian apologists, then what good is atheism? Well, I'm sure Matt doesn't care if people say that, and I don't care if people say it either. Yeah, so I think the question I would like to put out there, almost as a sort of rhetorical question, well, maybe not just rhetorical, but for Matt Dillahunty, I appreciate he's doing a lot of, what he would say is good things. He's on the line a couple of times a week. He's doing his magic shows. He's breeding snakes, etc., etc. He's happy in his relationship with Arden. So he probably feels he's doing a lot of good things. But I would say to you, in terms of his overall career and the trajectory, you couldn't deny that it's gone downhill. What has gone wrong? We saw Matt debating with Richard Dawkins, with Sam Harris. Who else was he on the stage with? Jordan Peterson. Well, I mean, for what that's worth, but at least with Jordan Peterson being so horribly popular, at least he brought Matt to a sort of new audience. So yeah, we had Matt Dillahunty, say 6 or 7 years ago. He was debating these big names, and it looked like his career was really going places. And now look what he's debating. The absolute gutter of Christian apologetics. It's really sad and pathetic. And I do hope that in future he will actually research who he's debating first before he appears, really. And it's kind of humiliating to sit on the stage with somebody that is putting forward particularly the transphobic and the homophobic views. And I think Matt even accused him of some sort of white supremacist. I kind of missed that, some views that he was putting across. But a very thoroughly unpleasant person. I mean, I don't like all atheist debaters and counter apologists. But to be honest with you, the most obnoxious of the group in terms of apologists and counter apologetics are definitely certain Christians, not even Muslims. There are some Christians that are so just horribly obnoxious. And I'm not just saying that as a matter of tribalism. I'm not saying it out of tribalism at all, because there are some atheists, and I've heard atheists calling in that I absolutely can't stand. They are terrible and dreadful. So it's not about that. But this guy, and I mean, Howard Stirrup wasn't terribly obnoxious, I would say. Just horribly wrong. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all for now. I would really like to know, what's your opinion on, did you watch the debates? Do you agree with me that, well, surely you will agree with me that Matt's career trajectory has been like this since about, what, 2018 or something like that, when he last went on. Of course, Matt's got a big mouth. I mean, look, we all know that. He's got a big temper as well. And he sometimes lets his mouth run away a little bit and maybe say things that he shouldn't say. I don't think it's a good idea for him to call internationally fairly well respected debate opponents, like, or not opponents, but at least people he's platformed with, like Richard Dawkins. He's called him, I don't know, a transphobic piece of shit. Jordan Peterson is a monumental idiot or monumental lunatic, and so these are people that he's been on a big platform with. They've had very sort of respectable kind of conversations, and it's not a good career move. It might be very honest of him, but it's not going to get him. It's not going to get him onto platforms with high caliber opponents or high caliber interlocutors. He's going to be in the gutter. He's going to be in the gutter like he has been in these last two debates with the likes of Howard Stirrup. Non-entities, complete non-entities like Howard Stirrup and Andrew Wilson. I mean, I'm a non-entity, but at least I know it. Yeah, and I'm not trying to appear. I mean, I wouldn't try to appear with William Lane Craig, for example, to boost my popularity in the same way that these guys are appearing with Matt Dillahunty to boost their channels and popularity. Okay, yeah, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.